So true.
Hey everyone. Oh my God, my voice is really deep. Hey everyone, let me get chipper with it. Happy December to you all because by
Oh,
the time you listen to this, it'll be
ooh,
December 1st.
okay.
What the
That's
hell?
true. That is so true. Oh my gosh.
It's time to say it.
Wow.
Like this year has flown by.
It has. I think we've said that on, we should do a compilation
I was thinking about that.
of doing all that for like our one of our last
Yes,
episodes of the
exactly.
year
Yes.
because this year has flown by, Steph.
I know. And what else? Allergies and LaCroix
Mhm.
and yeah.
Yes. Okay. Arrivederci. November.
Yeah, don't say that, man. Yes, because currently we're on the last day of the world's coziest month, and I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah.
It was a good month. It flew
Hmm.
by, and it typically doesn't, but this year
Yeah.
it did. It was
That's
good
true
though.
because earlier in the month it started on a high note with higher temperatures, but man, it went out with a bang with some chilly mornings.
Yeah, it's been nice. Today I
Hmm.
was sitting directly on the sun. It was very sunny and hot in here, but
Hmm.
as the day progressed, the sun moved and then I got
Hmm.
nice and chilly with it. So
Oh, I love it.
I'm feeling the vibes. I'm feeling the Christmas vibes. But
Yes.
if you guys are just tuning in and wondering what the hell you stumbled upon, this is
That's
90s
right.
Crime Talk with Steph, which is
Yes.
a part of the Totally 90s podcast. And we
Hmm.
are here. I am Steph, and I'm here with that stunning beauty over there. If you're on YouTube and you're like, who is that chocolate brown hair, porcelain skinned
No.
beauty? That is my beautiful
Mm-mm.
bestie, Neen.
No, I was gonna say I think you're talking about yourself, even though you have porcelain skin, but it's not exactly fair like mine.
You're Snow White right now. You're the fairest one in the room. And she's also
Oh,
the same Neen of Fridays with Neen.
oh,
Fridays with
stop.
Neen, Fridays with Neen. Every day is Fridays with Neen. Which, P.S., if
Wow,
you guys
wow.
missed last week's episode where Neen talked about perimenopause, it's like, yes, I was recording it live on Instagram so that
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and Facebook knows that we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about that. But
Mm-hmm.
somehow they communicated that to my email because today I got a freaking email about menopause relief. Dear Stephanie, like, can you
No,
wait? Like, can my
for real.
cramps go away and then you can talk to me about menopause relief? Okay.
Oh, no. You're like, don't rush me. Even though,
Yeah.
like you said, you want it to be done,
Mhm.
right? You're like, but hello, we're only 42.
Oh my God. See, I forget a lot that we're 42. And when you said it, it was kind of like a slap across the face. Like, whoa, we are 42.
I know. Because I still feel like I'm 28
I know. I do too. But thank God we're
mentally.
not.
Because
Thank God we're not.
physically, it's a different story, but mentally, definitely 28.
Girl, oh my God. You know what?
Hmm.
Hey, we're in the prime of our lives right now. So,
Hmm.
that being said, menopause is welcome, but
Hmm.
I don't need emails like that being
No.
thrown around. Like,
Uh,
calm down.
how do you feel about that stuff? Like, how do you feel about our phones listening? Because I
I
know there's some people are like, whatever, it is what it is at this point. But
Yeah,
uh,
I am those people. I'm like, well, what are you gonna do about it? Because the
hmm,
people that like put the little thingy above the webcam on their laptops. Who
I
cares?
ain't got time for that.
Yeah, I don't even know what that
It's
is. Or
like, you know what?
privacy
Here, you want
screens.
to look at me? Here, look, I'll show
Yeah,
you. You
here, let me
know?
flash you real quick. I got nothing to hide.
Exactly.
So I'm kind of like that. Like, but it does sometimes like, whoa, how did it know? But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like file a lawsuit or
No.
something. Although,
No.
did you hear about that Alexa story? I gotta find it and I'm totally gonna say it wrong.
Hmm.
But apparently, like someone hacked into a girl's Alexa device and was like
Hmm.
looking at her and listening and
Ooh,
dropping. Did you hear about that?
I've heard.
Ew.
Yeah,
That
I've
I'm
heard.
not okay
I
with.
don't know. Was that recent?
It was like a couple months ago.
Okay, I heard about one about a year or so ago, but
Ew,
it was
ew, ew.
a girl that like somehow they got on into Alexa, like they hacked into it and they were talking to the little girl from the Alexa device.
That's disgusting. Were they
Yeah.
caught?
Yeah.
Thank
And I was
God.
just like, that is so creepy. That kind of stuff. Just like, I'm good,
Yeah. Like
But I
that,
mean, you're right. Like, I don't think to myself, oh, I hope no one's looking through my camera, because the God only knows what they'd see.
oh,
I'm
cochina.
telling you. And that's on you, boo. Okay. Like, if you want to look, hey, I'm sorry. It ain't that interesting.
Oh my
You know what I mean?
God.
Just don't be
Yeah,
taking pictures. Um,
exactly.
but yeah, it is what it is. Like, there's so many things. If it's not Alexa, it's the Google, whatever. Everything's
Yeah.
listening nowadays.
Yeah.
Which which reminds me, and it's kind of along the lines of crime talk, is if we're all okay with Alexas and everything else, then why aren't we okay with cameras in the
The
streets?
CCTV. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello. It actually would help a lot with a lot of things.
Agreed. I don't know why we don't do that, but I guess because we're
Yeah.
so woke over here. Let me
Hmm.
sip and roll my eyes.
Right? Because just to think all the things that might be resolved or
Yes.
prevented. I mean, people are going to do what they want to do. But I don't know. It's crazy. Okay. Oh, so you live in the city. So I have a question for you. So a couple weeks ago, I had gone to Target in the city in San Francisco for
Ugh.
a job. So I went to the one over on Geary,
Ugh.
right? Because it was closest to my job and I know what time she was going to be done. So I'm like, okay, I better hurry up. So I go to the one on Geary. Did they amp up security?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what is going on? And it was during the APEC summit or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
summit, whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, is this because of that? Is this why? Like, it looked like there was like, they have a special type of like police people patrolling inside with like hats and like,
Wait,
I
was
don't
this
know.
during APEC, you said?
It was during,
Then yeah,
but
that's typically that's not the case. And
mhm,
that's actually I think that's one of the targets they're gonna close. So I think they're closing all the ones in
really?
San Francisco. Yeah, because did you
Dang.
notice that everything's locked up? Deodorant,
Mhm. Yeah, I
stuff.
did not buy anything because I was irritated. I
Yeah.
don't I don't have time for places that
Yeah.
lock their shit up. Because,
Yeah.
to me, and maybe, if you're a retailer, maybe you want to listen to me right now. Because I
Yeah.
think that what you need to do is you see this happening, get loss prevention. Because I found a lot of stores just don't do loss prevention anymore. They don't have really people looking in the cameras, right? They kind of depend on their workers to be doing this. Um, but get loss prevention to be monitoring the aisles and seeing what people are doing and freaking press the button, lock the damn doors, and call the cops.
I feel like, well, yeah, they don't have the resources, probably number
Hmm.
one, but number two, it's like oftentimes these people that like I'll get so angry watching people filming
Oh, I
these
hate that.
fuckers, like just they don't
Hmm.
even care, they're not even hiding their faces and the way they're just
No.
grabbing everything. And it's like, because we don't know if this person has a gun, but then loss prevention should have weaponry on them too, if
Yeah.
that's the case, to protect
Hmm.
themselves. Like
Hmm.
what is this? Get a
Yeah.
job.
Exactly. And that's the thing is like, I'm like, okay. And when you see them going into these places, just like grabbing hella stuff off the freaking racks, and it's like, 20 people going in there and just like freaking destroying the stores. It is infuriating,
It
especially when
is.
I go to the store and I pay,
Yeah.
okay, and I'm honest, and
Yeah.
these jerks just go and just be like, "Oh, who cares?" Like we owe it to them somehow,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
It's like the assholes that graffiti and it's not even like artistic. It's just squiggles. It's like, are you kidding me? What
Right?
is
Like, did
that
you
doing?
did you grow up wanting to be a graffiti artist? Like, where's that
Yeah,
gonna get you?
exactly.
Sorry. Sorry. That's
Yeah.
just so stupid. And to this day, I still wonder how some people get up on these places and graffiti the things they do. Like, I
It's
can't.
I can't either. It really fills me with wrath, is what it does. And
Mm-hmm.
I lose so much patience. And it's
Oh
starting to
yeah.
trickle. Like, I don't know if you've noticed Westlake lately. I've been complaining about them quite a
Mm-hmm.
bit now. And Westlake used to be my safe haven, my safe little escape from like the
Mm-hmm.
madness of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And it's over there too. Like Tuesday night, we went to Trader Joe's, and this
Mm-hmm.
woman was like off her rocker. And I was like, what are you on? Why are you here
Mm-mm.
in Trader Joe's, like causing chaos in my spot?
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
God,
No,
I
I
don't
noticed
know.
that as well because I had gone to, I think I mentioned that to you, that I had gone to DSW
Oh
because I
yeah.
wanted some shoes and it wasn't there. It was the Halloween spirit
Yeah.
store. I was
Yeah.
annoyed. And
Yeah.
it was funny because I'm sure you saw her or the lady that had the hearse that was parked
Yeah.
there in front of, uh-huh. So I was like, what is this? Is this a prop from for the Halloween store? And come to
Yeah.
find out it wasn't. She just lives in a hearse and
Ugh.
has a casket on top, right? But while I was
Wait,
there,
really? I thought it was a prop.
no, I saw it on the news.
Oh my
Everybody thought it was a prop, but literally she lives in her hearse
God.
and the casket is above. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I have a picture of it because I just thought it was comical. But while I'm sitting there, because I'm sitting there doing like work in my car or whatever, and literally like 7 police cars came and parked their asses in front of the Target because someone was acting hostile. And then while I was sitting there, there was like a PG&E truck up to the left of me.
Yeah.
Some guy goes and starts taking all the cones out of the PG&E's truck and causing havoc and then
Oh,
throwing it onto other cars. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, this is Westlake. I was
exactly.
like, what? And it's true. Like, and I felt a very, um, and this was in the daytime. This was like in the morning. And I just felt very uneasy there. Kind of
Yeah.
like I was always looking out my rearview mirror just to see if was anybody behind me, like was
Yeah.
anybody, you know what I mean? And I never felt like that before.
It's getting intense. Yesterday I was
Hmm.
at the office and I work like in the financial district, which is not like it's not Civic Center or Powell, but like there's
Hmm.
still like trickles. And I was
Yeah.
walking and trying to get my miles in. And then I'm
Hmm.
crossing the street and this crack addict, clearly cracked out, not wearing clothes, is walking like a thriller towards me.
Hmm.
And so I cross the street, he crosses the street. I cross the other way, and I was like, fuck, this guy's following me. I felt so like
Oh my
annoyed
gosh.
and like I
Uh-huh.
just thankfully I outwalked his ass, but like that was not okay. Like I and then I worry about my parents.
No.
This is why I stressed out about my parents.
No, I agree. I mean, and it's everywhere. Like I told you today, I went to Stockton and
Oh,
okay, so when I went to that same day, I went to the Target. I had
yeah.
got off the freeway in San Francisco. I get off the freeway, I'm there. All of a sudden, I see this homeless guy who just woke up
Oh,
from his slumber and he had a pee and literally pulled out his Wiener Schnitzel, okay, and peed right in front of me. I saw it right there. And I told my friend, I was like, do you see that? And she goes, oh my gosh, is that? I go, yeah, it is. And he's just there peeing on his bed,
oh my god.
like with it just hanging out. Okay. So then I go, wow, okay. So today I go to Stockton and I get off the freeway. It's like a thing, right? I'm like, wow, is this what I'm going to be greeted with every time I enter a city? Okay.
Ugh.
I'm at the stoplight and there's a lady there. And I had to process what I was looking at because literally she had no clothes on from top to bottom and was there on the corner of the street, just all in her glory. I was like, wow. And she had her hands up like she was praising the sun. And it looked like she had ZZ Top in her caquacha.
Oh my god.
It
Like
was so
literally.
bushy. There was so much going on. And I was like, why am I seeing this?
No, and
Like,
it's also like I know we sound cold right now, but it's literally like it's not like people that are, I feel terrible for homeless people. I do. Like I don't want to be
we're
like
the
I hate
first
homeless
people
people.
to be like,
It's not.
help.
It's more like people that are a threat a little bit. Like you don't know how
Hmm.
someone's going to react like if
Right.
they're on something, and this is like
Hmm.
what we're running into a lot regularly.
Yeah. And we thought that it would get better after the pandemic.
Ugh.
And I feel like it's just getting worse.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
we'll see what happens when, at least for San Francisco, like when we get a new fucking mayor.
yeah, hi,
Hi
can we do
and bye.
something? Like you
Yeah.
had every opportunity to make it right and
Yeah.
do something and make a name for yourself. You failed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
so irritated because it's not okay. We have such a beautiful city and it literally is just being shit on.
Yeah. It
And
is.
it shouldn't be. you know? Like I like right by City Hall up on, is it Polk and like Turk and all those.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Like
uh-uh.
literally I accidentally went down there to,
Oh,
because
full blown.
I went way too far when I was trying to get back.
Yeah.
I was scared for my life. Like literally it's not even just on the sidewalks. They're in the street.
Yeah, I can't. I have full blown panic attacks when my Uber
Yes.
yesterday took the cuts to get me home because I'm
Oh
trying to
my
avoid
gosh.
BART because I
Hmm.
have panic attacks on there too.
No.
It was awful. I had to like have my head down. I'm sure he thought something was wrong with me, and I was like, I can't look.
Yeah, no, it's disturbing. And it's
Yeah.
just like, and the police are just there.
Yeah, like
Mm,
looty doo.
yeah. But if my ass was shooting up on a
Of
corner,
course.
okay, or taking off my clothes and showing everybody my blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
I would be in the pen right now.
Handcuffs. Yeah. Yeah, you would.
Yeah. I'd be getting arraigned tomorrow at 1:30.
I love it. Look at you using
Anyways.
arraigned, getting us all ready.
Okay, so on that note, Steph, what do you have for us today?
Oh my God. So I thought for the month of December, I would research and discuss some true crime cases that happened during the Christmas holiday season.
Ooh,
Hence my Christmas shirt and my Nutcracker pajama bottoms. Yes,
I
we're
love
we're full
it.
blown right now. And wouldn't you know it, there's quite a few cases. There's a lot actually that happened during Christmas. And
I could see that.
yeah, it goes to show you that the holidays really do bring out the worst in some people.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, one murder that happened during the Christmas season was Little John Benet Ramsey. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just one
Right.
right off the bat. And that one I think will haunt us all because there's no
Mm-hmm.
resolution. May discuss that one this month, but today I wanted to share a story that I just happened upon when I began my research for this Christmas
Hmm.
series. So,
Okay.
this story in particular hails from Daytona, Ohio, and takes
Mm-hmm.
place on December 24th,
Mm.
1992.
Wow.
I don't have many trigger warnings for this one, just a big, like, general one, as we will be discussing senseless murder by shooting, and then
Mm.
trigger warnings for robbery, and trigger warnings because you're just going to get pissed. So
Mm.
now that you have
Dang.
that all under your little
Uh,
scarves or whatever, we can get
mhm.
started. So
Sounds
before
good.
we talk about the unfortunate main event, let's set the scene. And we are currently in downtown, and I'm sorry, I said Daytona,
Mhm.
Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio. Sorry, I knew I was gonna do that. So we're in
Oh.
Dayton, Ohio in December of 92. It was described as a picturesque and wholesome, like, place, as it had been decked out for Christmas. There was the annual Christmas tree lighting that took place at the courthouse square, which reminds me of San Francisco's Union Square. Just like, you know how we do the tree lighting and
Mhm.
like in the square. That's what this conjures up this image for me. This
Oh,
this
totally.
courthouse square.
Like a
Um
Hallmark movie.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
so there was that, and there were many pop-up shops selling all kinds of fun Christmas gifts. The streets were crowded with people doing some last-minute shopping and spending time with their loved ones, things that we do right before the holidays. Sadly, these people had no idea what was about to take place. So, fair warning right off the bat for you, Neen, and for our YouTube viewers. I will be rolling my peepers a lot when discussing the villains today, and I
Ugh.
guarantee that you will be doing the same.
Mm.
That being said, let's chat about them first so you know who we are dealing with. So, I don't know if you caught that I said villains, plural, but
Mhm.
yes, we are talking about more than one person in this case, a gang, if you will. Get
Dang.
those eyes warmed up because here's your first eye roll. Okay.
Mm.
So the gang consisted of 6 people. Ringleaders Marvelous Kane, okay, 19 years old. His girlfriend
Nice.
Laura Taylor, 16
Mhm.
years old. Heather Matthews, 20 years old. And her boyfriend, Demarcus Smith, 17 years old. There are 2 other members in the gang who I'll introduce a little bit later, but these 4 are the perpetrators. The name of the gang was the Downtown Posse. I'm going to pause for eye roll.
What dorks.
These people straight up named themselves the Downtown Posse. So, besides the fact that they are all clearly losers, there wasn't much available about these peeps online prior to the murders, except for the fact that they were all pretty much estranged from their families and were known to hang around the courthouse square, panhandling, or bumming money. Okay, so bumming money is like, they're just like,
That kind of fits in with our combo we were just
uh-huh.
having.
Yeah, isn't that funny how you totally just did that? So thank you. Yes. So now that we are acquainted a little bit with the villains of our story, you may be wondering, how did this group come up with the idea to cause complete and utter mayhem just days before Christmas, or a day before Christmas, I should say? Was it really just senseless and random? Was it planned? What the hell could have possessed this group of teens? They're not that old, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What possessed this group of teens to go on this murder spree? If your guess was boredom, you are absolutely correct. They were bored. Okay?
Seriously?
They were bored.
Okay. I'm going to log off right now. The hell?
Yes.
Wow.
And they also thought, we're bored, but maybe we can make some money too. Like we could just like rob people and kill them, and buy ourselves some shit. Yeah. So that's the reason and the motive. And they already had a victim in mind. Okay. So they had they had someone in mind. Laura Taylor, who I'm going to always repeat her age because I can't believe it. Laura Taylor, 16, came up with this plan to rob a man under the pretext of sex. Let me again remind you all that she's the youngest of the four at only 16 years old. So she calls up 34-year-old Joseph Wilkerson, who was a General Motors worker, and promised him an orgy and an unforgettable wild night. He's way into it and agrees. Once Laura got Joseph on the hook, she called up her friend, 20-year-old Heather Matthews, and looped her into the plan. I could not find exactly how Laura knew this guy, but I read one of the trial transcripts and it said that he was an acquaintance of hers. So she knew him enough to have his number. So Laura, Heather, and Marvelous all head over to Joseph's house to pretend to participate in this orgy. They all have a drink together before Laura and Joseph head to the bedroom. A few minutes later, Marvelous and Heather join them. At this point, Joseph is taking his clothes off, and the three others pretend to start doing the same. Marvelous starts to take his pants off, giving the illusion that he's about to join in. But then he quickly pulls up his pants and pulls out a gun. He aimed the gun at Joseph and ordered him to get on the bed, and then ordered the two girls to tie his hands to the bed so he could not move. Marvelous then told the girls to go through the house to see what things were valuable enough to steal while he stayed like monitoring Joseph. Some of the things they gathered were a microwave, a TV, a phone, a blow dryer, like appliances. Okay. So they stored these items in Joseph's car, which I guess they decided they were also going to steal. And another item that was found in the garage was a 32 caliber handgun. Trigger warning here, okay? So Marvelous got a bunch of blankets to cover Joseph with, and then he shot Joseph in the chest. This shot does not kill him, as Marvelous later would testify that he saw Joseph's legs and feet shaking from under the blankets. The two girls were not in the room when this first shot was fired, but returned when they heard the commotion. Marvelous gave the gun to 16-year-old Laura to give her a chance to shoot it, but it wouldn't fire again. Lucky for them, he had his own gun. So the gun that he shot Joseph with was Joseph's own gun. So Marvelous grabs his own gun and hands it to 16-year-old Laura. Sorry, I'm going to say her age all the time. And she took it and without a second thought. Okay. She grabbed it. She's like, okay, cool. And then she proceeds to shoot Joseph right in the head. His legs and feet finally stopped shaking. Once he was dead, the trio piled into Joseph's car and took off. Marvelous warned the girls not to open their mouths to anyone. Yeah. Later that
Wow.
evening, so the same evening, Marvelous, Laura, and Heather went on a walk, only this time they invited Heather's boyfriend, DeMarcus, along. It should be noted that both DeMarcus and Marvelous were each carrying a gun.
Sorry, this is names. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. So they were each packing heat. So during their walk, they spot 18-year-old mother of a 2-year-old, Danita Gillette, at a payphone. It was reported that they walked right up to her and said, "Merry Christmas, bitch." And
Sorry, that's not funny.
I was not expecting you to laugh.
You said it.
I cannot look at you right now. It's
That is
awful.
not fun. No, it's awful. But the way you said it, Merry Christmas, bitch.
I know. I'm trying to like,
My
oh,
gosh.
yeah. It's all in her photo. Like, it's so like
Oh
heartbreaking.
no, her photo is. I mean, I
Yeah.
could be her friend.
Yeah. It's really sad.
You know what I
So,
mean?
no, yeah.
You know how you could tell when someone's nice through their photo?
Exactly. And this is her. Like, and
Yeah.
she's got a baby at home waiting for
See,
her. It's
no disrespect
awful.
to her. It was just the way you said it. Just
I
was
know.
like, along with the names, it's just a lot.
I know. And it is a lot. So they held her at gunpoint and demanded that she give them her shoes. Like, I think she was wearing Fila's. So in the 90s, they were like all the rage.
Oh,
She of course complied. She's like, anything you want, please just spare my life. They ignored her plea and shot her 5 times, killing her. And before they left, they made sure to not only steal her shoes, but they also took her bag, jacket, and all the money she had on her, which was 50 cents. That's it.
Wow.
And
The things they focused on getting are so random.
And because they're just like, again, what we were talking about earlier. It's like whatever we can get our hands on. So
Exactly.
Danita actually ended up surviving the shooting. Like she didn't die right away, but like she didn't end up surviving. Like later she passed away on her way to the hospital. Police were alerted to the shooting and went to the scene, and they found some bullet casings nearby. And they also found like some of her school books laying around, and they were like, oh, okay, they were able to like assess that the person who was shot was her name, because her name I guess was written in her books. And I know nothing at all, like full disclaimer, I don't know nothing at all about bullets, okay, but I know like they're all like different, like they all have their own identification.
Right.
These particular bullets were 25 caliber blazers with aluminum shell casing. So the police like noted, okay, this is the type of bullets they are. They wrote it down, and they were like, we got to investigate. Meanwhile, the downtown posse decided they were not done yet and wanted to kill one more person. So they zoned in on Jeffrey Wright, who was Heather's ex-boyfriend. They had no trouble finding him at all, as he was outside of his home when they rolled up there. DeMarcus pulled his gun and shot Jeffrey in the legs 4 times. Miraculously, Jeffrey survives. After this incident, the foursome decided that they had enough fun for one day and went back to Joseph's to get some well-deserved rest. Insert eye roll and hatred here. So they decide they're just going to use Joseph's house as a landing pad. They're going to eat his food, sleep, relax. Joseph's body is in the next room. Let me remind everybody, okay? So they go home, they go sleep.
What the hell?
I know. The next day, which was Christmas Day, the 4 woke up refreshed and ready to cause more mayhem. They had another victim in mind, and this time it was Richard Maddox, who was Laura's ex-boyfriend. Laura called him up at his parents' house because, again, remember, they were teens. Okay, so he was young too, and tricked him into meeting up with her for a car ride in his car. Like, hey, let's go driving around, talk about old times. Richard agreed. What he didn't know, like right away, was that they were being followed by Marvelous, Heather, and DeMarcus, who were driving Joseph's car. But after driving for some time, he realizes, wait a minute, we're getting tailed by like this car. This is weird. Like you just notice when someone's following you closely behind. So
Right.
all of a sudden he like slams down on his brakes. But as soon as he did this, Laura pulled out a gun, pressed it against his temple, and shot him in the head. She then jumps out of the car, which was still moving, but right before it crashed into a tree. Yeah, because she shot him while he was driving a vehicle. Okay. So she flees out
Wow.
of the car and Richard dies instantly.
Mm.
The crash wasn't what killed him, it was the gunshot to the head.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So satisfied with what they had done, they returned back to Joseph's, just to continue resting and eating his food. He's still in the bedroom. Okay.
Because they're still bored.
They're still bored. They're like, we're untouchable, man. Like, we can do this. Like, no one's going to catch us. So,
Dorks. Oy.
meanwhile, police learned of Richard's murder almost immediately and went to the scene where witnesses had gathered. One person reported seeing a young woman jump out of the moving vehicle before it crashed into a tree. Police realized that this shooting took place only a few miles from where Danita had been shot and killed. So like they're like hot now. They're like, wait a minute, these two are connected. Like this is crazy. It was like not that long ago. Like this is the same person. Police spoke with Richard's family to see if he had any enemies or if they knew of anyone who would want to hurt him. The family stated that he had no enemies, but also didn't have that many friends. They also told police that he had been dating a girl named Laura Taylor. So police take note of the name and start asking around about her, but no one knew where she was at this time. So she was like MIA. And they're like, So spidey senses are tingling.
Right.
The next day, December 26th, which is Boxing Day, Heather drove Joseph's car to a nearby mini mart and accompanied by the other three. Laura goes inside the store to get the lay of the land and reported to the group that there were only 3 people inside at that moment. And at this point, all 4 were carrying guns, though it is not clear where the girls got their weapons. Everyone had a gun now. Okay. So, they all go inside where they find Sarah Abraham, mother of 3 and the store owner, working behind the register. Marvelous instructed her to open the register while pointing his gun at her. She complied, gave him the cash. So she did what he asked her to do, but he shot her twice in the head anyways. He didn't care. She unfortunately passed away from her injury a couple of days later. DeMarcus shot at the other 2 people who were in the store at that moment, but miraculously they survived because they pretended to play dead. The gang left the store with all of the cash, which was a whopping $44.
Oh my God. What a waste.
Yeah.
Did they really think they were going to get away with this?
They did. They did.
What a bunch of idiots.
They did. They were like, we're untouchable. We're the downtown posse. Who's going to mess with us?
Yeah, that's true with that name.
Oh, so police were called to the mini mart, and wouldn't you know it, they found the same aluminum shell casings that were found at Danita's crime scene. They're like, ding, 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 ding. So remember I mentioned earlier that there were 2 other members in this gang? Let's talk about them now. So they are 16-year-old Wendy Cottrill and 18-year-old Marvin Washington. While these 2 were not involved in the Christmas massacre, they definitely knew about it as the foursome just had to brag to someone.
Of course.
But they were starting to get worried. And by they, I mean the 4 idiots. They were starting to get worried that Wendy and Marvin would snitch on them. So they were like, oh, we gotta take care of this. We gotta silence them. Like they're not gonna snitch on us. We're not gonna have that. So after the robbery and murder at the mini mart, the group went to go pick up Marvin and Wendy to drink beer and hang out. That was the plan. They drove for a long time until Marvelous suddenly stops the car because he needed to use the bathroom. But this was definitely not your average pit stop. The 4 pulled Wendy and Marvin out of the car while they begged for their lives, telling the 4 over and over that they had not told anybody what happened. There were no snitches. They didn't go to the police. They were like, we'll never say anything. Just let us go. But Marvelous and DeMarcus forced them to walk behind a big pile of gravel that they had parked near, and
Mhm.
they shot them to death. Their bodies would not be discovered until days later.
Wow.
Yeah. So at this point, the group takes off in their car and decided that they needed to switch their license plates and potentially the car they were driving since they didn't want to get caught. Now, I
Mhm.
should note here that they actually switched their plates a few times before this. So like every time they stopped, they would just swipe a plate and like put it on their car.
Wow.
They thought this was like a fireproof way to avoid getting caught. They're like, we're so smart. So they drove to a gas station where they robbed a woman of her car at gunpoint, and she literally was about to be their next victim.
Wow.
She ran for her life, okay, dodging bullets, literally, and she thankfully avoided being the next victim. They took
Wow.
her car, which was a Dodge Shadow. They switched the plates, and I don't know why they just say they switched the plates, but I don't know if they switched it with the place that they were driving, like of the car they were currently driving.
Mhm.
I mean, I hope not, but they
Okay.
are that stupid, so maybe. But I'm just gonna say they switched the plates, and
Uh-huh.
then they dumped the car that they had been driving previously. The woman immediately reports what had happened to her, that she had been held up at gunpoint, that the car had been stolen, and she gave descriptions of the people that did this to her. So now they knew what car to look for and what the people looked like. So they were
Mhm.
armed with info. They were like convinced that this is that they're so close to solving the case. So
Wow.
literally minutes later, Police Sergeant John Huber was out driving, and wouldn't you know it, a car caught his eye. Yes, you guessed it. It was the Dodge Shadow. Sergeant Huber pulled the car over and ordered a license plate check. When the plates did not match, he called for a backup. He's like, What he didn't know was Laura told Marvelous, like she whispers to her man, shoot him. But thankfully he didn't. Like something, I think he was just done. He was like, you know
Mhm.
what? I'm done. So he didn't do that. DeMarcus's dumbass actually manages to get out of the car and ran to a nearby house to hide, but was quickly found. So phew. The
Thank
other
God.
three, Heather, Marvelous, and Laura, they didn't fight. They just were like, okay, like we're done. Like
Mm.
take us into custody. So they were taken into
Dummies.
custody. The four were taken into custody once they got to Marcus back. And that's when the questioning began.
Mhm.
The interview, God, this is so disgusting. The interviewing officer started with 16-year-old Laura and first asked her if she needed to use the bathroom. She straight up stood up and pissed on the floor and then sat back down. And she did not say one word to police. She kept her mouth shut.
Ugh.
Okay.
Wow. Little
That's who we're
twit.
dealing with. The other
Mhm.
three members of the downtown posse did not hold back, and they confessed to every single last detail. They're like, we're caught. What the fuck? So they told
Mhm.
everything. Every last detail of what we just talked about, they told police. So they immediately, let's do a trial. Like they're gonna go to
Mhm.
trial and they're gonna be sentenced. Like it's slam dunk. So and it
Mhm.
was. So the trial took place in the summer of 1993. So they were detained while waiting.
Mhm.
Heather agreed to a deal ahead of the trial. And DeMarcus actually ended up pleading guilty on the morning that the trial began. He was like, fuck this. I'm not going to go through this trial. Like, I'm guilty as charged, like, clearly. So
Right.
those two were like, Laura and Marvelous, who I can't stand. I can't stand any of them, but those two really just get my goat.
Right.
Um, they decide, you know what, we're going to take our chance with trial. Like, we're victims.
Okay, yeah, you're stupid. That's what you are.
Exactly.
I hate when
They,
people like it's obvious that they've
yeah,
done this and
yeah,
they decide to go to trial.
yeah.
I mean,
What
I
the
know they
fuck?
think that they're gonna get they you really think you're gonna get like off or I don't know. Like people what are you gonna try and how are you gonna convince these people?
Exactly. Which is why it was the fucking fastest trial ever because they were quickly found guilty. Okay. And Laura was sentenced to life in prison.
Dang.
as was Heather, as was DeMarcus. So I don't know what kind of deal Heather agreed to, maybe just to not stand trial, but she got a life sentence regardless.
Wow. Good.
Now, Marvelous was sentenced to death. So out of that
Hmm.
group, they were like, you're gonna be sentenced to death. That's your sentence. So um
Dang. Ohio don't play. Okay.
mm,
Shoot.
mm-mm. It does not. And it should also be noted that the only time this group showed any kind of emotion was when they were sentenced. That's when the crying and the hoopla started and ended, was there.
Are you
They didn't
serious?
give two shits about the family members that were there. No apologies, no nothing. Not
Mm.
a peep. And that
Wow.
was it. That's it was over, right? So Marvelous was executed by lethal injection on July 21st, 2009. And he was asked, do you have any last words? And he was like, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Wow. What happened to you? Like, goodness gracious.
Yeah. And you know what strikes me? So again, I could only find one article. They were just like, all that I could see was they were estranged from their families. But one article was
Hmm.
like, Marvelous never had a record prior to this.
Hmm.
And it said like he was just he minded his own business. I don't know how he got wrapped up with this group or anything, but they found each other and then they decided, they were like, oh, we're
Hmm.
family and we're gonna do like whatever the
See?
fuck we want. So like for him not to I
Shoot.
don't know, for him not to have any last words, maybe he's just like, I don't deserve to have any last words because I don't know what I
Maybe.
am anymore. So I mean, at least
Hmm.
I hope so. So
So this happened in
92,
1992,
but and he was
and he
killed
was executed in 2000.
2009.
Okay. So that's like what? That's, I can't count. It's more than,
2009 minus 1992. 17 years he was on death row.
wow, that's not really long at
No,
all.
it's not, because you hear people being on death row for like 30 plus years,
Yeah,
but
or
no.
they just die waiting to die, you
Exactly.
know? But God, that's crazy. And,
No.
and to think that and I guess, like you said, it's shocking that he didn't have anything to say because he was young at
Yeah.
the time that this took place. And
Yes.
you would think he would have had some sort of remorse or say something or had to change a heart
Yeah, he would have
or,
been, yeah, he was in his 30s when he was executed. He was 36.
wow.
Yeah, you would think, but no,
Hmm.
he didn't. So he's gone, and
Mhm.
Heather and Laura are currently serving their life sentences at the Ohio Reformatory for Women, while DeMarcus is serving his sentence at the North Central Correctional Institute. Now he's eligible for parole on December 1st, 2026.
Hmm.
Laura has a parole board hearing in October 2026. And if it's approved, she could be released as well on December 1st, 2026.
Hmm.
Heather's next parole hearing is in January 2131, which is in 107 years. So she's just going to go ahead and rot in jail.
Good, because
Again,
she
what
looks
deal
like
did
she
she
should.
like?
Right?
I don't get the deal, but yeah. And something tells me I'm gonna be paying attention, because I feel like Danita's sister particularly is very outspoken. Like she was in documentaries about what happened to her sister, and
Hmm.
she's a doctor and everything. Like I feel like she's gonna be like front and center at this parole hearing. And like after them not showing any remorse for what they did, I feel
Hmm.
like they're not going to get out. Like, because they listen to the victims' families,
Right.
or at least they take it into consideration at these. That's what these hearings are for.
And
They want to
as they
see if,
should.
yeah, they want to see if you're reformed.
Hmm.
Have you changed? And
Hmm.
like, but then they take the victims' family statements into consideration. So we'll see. We'll see.
Wow.
That is literally like what, 2 years away,
Hmm.
3 years
Dang.
away, 3 years tomorrow.
Wow. That is so crazy.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that is
Mm-mm.
the holly jolly Christmas massacre of Dayton, Ohio. I just wanted to
Mm-mm.
Share, because I had never heard of it. Like we were little girls when this story
Yeah, for
broke.
real. That's
Let's see, how old
wow.
were we? 19, 11, I think. 11, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. I never heard of it.
Mm-mm-mm. That's a hot mess right there. All of them. And so is their pictures.
I know. Like
Ugh.
crazy, right? And they look tore up now.
Yeah. I'm like, they were a motley crew. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't with people like this. I just so heartless.
Yeah.
The things that it was just like, okay, no zest for life, no wanting to just be better, want to do good.
Yeah.
Let's just go kill people for random things,
Exactly.
appliances and shit, you know? And poor, what was her name? Danita?
Danita.
Poor Danita, her poor child,
Yeah.
over 50 cents that she had in her pocket.
Yeah. And just for the thrill. That's what they were looking for in their lives, was bringing some thrill into it, some excitement.
Wow. And that's so sad that not sad, but it's humorous actually and insulting to think that they actually thought they would get away with it.
Hmm.
And the fact that they actually, two of them, right, went to
Yeah.
trial.
Yeah. That's the part that killed me.
Hmm.
Like they should have followed their homies' leads over there.
Okay, for real.
Save some face.
It would be interesting though to see how Laura and Heather have changed, if they have, or if they had anything to say about, you know, like, have they been reformed? Do they have a guilty conscience for the things that took place?
Do you
Because
ever?
Marvelous didn't.
No. I mean, but the thing is like, I know people can change and they're capable of change. And then you often hear about these people, they go to jail and then they find religion and they try to
Mm-hmm.
like right they try to get right with what they've done and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that people are able, like they can change,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, like especially Laura's behavior,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like with it is hard to believe because, you're in prison, you're, a good portion of time, you're up for parole. You're going to try and do whatever you can. You know what it's going to take to maybe persuade these people, the board, to let you go. So
Yeah.
you're going to try and do everything you can to make your resume look good of what you've accomplished in prison. I'm a scholar now. I got my GED. When I get out, I want to go to college. I want to do better. I want to help people, that have no soul, like me when
Yeah.
I was younger, or I've given myself, over to the Lord or whatever it is.
Right.
Um, but that's the thing is like, how do you believe people like that? Because you could easily just lie your way out of it. These people are master manipulators or, compulsive liars. They know how to get what they want.
Yeah.
They have tons
I
of hours to do this in their cell, to perfect their stories and their mission in life and to claim that they asked for forgiveness.
yeah.
You know? I don't know. I mean, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that actually feel bad for what they've done.
I think so. I do feel that.
But I think you have to, I don't know. I I want to see tears. You know what I mean?
But real
Like,
ones.
yeah, like at the sentencing, not the sentencing, but and I think that's the thing too, is like if you see some sort of remorse or sadness from them during the sentencings, when you hear the victims' families
Oh,
talk, but when they're sitting there and they're just like numb and with a
yeah.
hateful look on their face, just for that, I would not even allow them to get parole ever again. Like not even
Agree.
have it as an option. Because,
Agree.
I feel like right then and there, when you know that your life is pretty much done,
Yeah,
it should reveal the truth in your how you react to that. You
exactly.
know, like if you're actually sad about what's transpiring, it should show. But if you're sitting there numb, like, I don't care, then you know what? Then fine. Sit there and rot,
Hmm.
you know? Because
Definitely. I
they're
agree.
never getting their family back for this nonsense that you did.
Out of boredom.
Hmm. Oh, no. See, and that's where I get upset, you know? And it's like, okay, I wish that these families can have their own vengeance.
I
And that's where I
know.
try to go back to, I go back to gladiator days, right?
Yes.
Where you did this to my family, I'm going to torture your ass. And I know a lot of people are like, can't be like that. It's not
Oh,
human,
please.
humane, blah, blah. But I'm sorry. Were they thinking of their victims?
No.
And nothing will bring back these people, but I think that there's something very healing, and I don't even know if this is something that would even be accepted by the church or anything, but there's something healing about a victim's family, or like a parent whose child was taken, and killed in a brutal manner, like, to where they could somehow have their moment with the killer or the person that did this, you know to know that that person's just in a cell. And a lot of times, like, our prisons here are, you know one step below a nice hotel room, with all the amenities, right? How is that justice? It's not.
It
Give me a
isn't.
second, you know
Eye for an eye. No, I hear
Hmm.
you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that for sure.
No one that does stuff like that should be given any type of lenience, or like a chance, you know
Yeah.
uh, I say just throw them into the pit with the wolves, for real. Oh, I need to make my own prison. It would be fantastic.
Oh man, let's
Like a
have a whole
lion's den.
right. Oh my
Hmm.
God. Yeah, that is gladiator of you.
Yeah, it is, because this kind of stuff gets me mad. Like, it's kind of like people that are you know what it is like those people when we're on the road and we're driving, and those people that are driving like 150 miles an hour and going in and out and risking, who cares about their life, but they're risking everyone else's. Those heartless people that don't give a crap about people,
Yeah.
like, in that anger that you feel when you see that.
It bubbles. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then it makes you feel
that's
hot.
yes. Like, I wouldn't mind if you went into a pole,
Yeah,
you
I
know
wouldn't either.
yeah, because I would stop my car and I'd get out and I'd laugh,
Yeah.
as you're mangled in your wreckage. Okay. People are probably like, wow. But you know what? You do stuff like that. I don't feel bad for people like that. And stuff like this, it just makes me so mad, the fact that they did this just because they were freaking bored.
Yeah.
What dummies.
And they wanted money. Go get a job
Exactly. Because what were you going to do with 40 bucks?
for $40.50.
Wow.
That's the value of the lives. But yeah, I know. I knew you were going to be pissed. I had to share this one. We had to kick it off.
And what's worse is that it was on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It was on during Christmas, and it's sad because you hear about stuff like this all the time. Like, some of the worst things that happen in the world happen around the holidays,
Yeah.
that get you at your heartstrings, right? And I just think about, like, her little girl or
Yeah.
child and their families, like,
Like this is what they're going to remember every Christmas. Like, how do you even celebrate the holiday? That's the thing that
mhm,
gets me. You
yeah,
can't.
yeah, you can't. I just, wow. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-mm,
Well,
mm-mm.
horrible. I'm
Yes,
so mad.
I know. I know. I don't like to get you
But you know what?
angry.
I'm glad that they're in jail and they're in prison, except what's his name, who might get out. But I
Yeah.
doubt it. I doubt they'll give them.
No, I don't think so, but we'll we'll be tuning in 3 years to see because I won't
Okay.
forget. Shit.
Okay, for real.
We'll set a
We'll come
reminder.
back with crime talk in 2026. Okay.
Exactly. Like here we are live reporting. Are
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
out?
We're in Ohio.
Yes. Oh my God. Wait, before we log off, I have
Mhm.
to say that I forgot to mention something huge that happened in 1997, and I was kicking myself. We
Oh.
forgot to mention the fact that Ellen came out.
Yes, I've read that as well.
Like the fuck?
And what's so funny is when I was typing up, our little spiel that we write, I saw that and I go, "Oh my God, we didn't mention that."
Yes.
Because that was huge and that was really big for her. And,
Yes.
that
And
was
then
because
it just opened so many doors, you know?
it did, because we all kind of had a feeling,
Yeah.
but she had never admitted it. And
Yeah.
it was a big step for her,
Yes.
And if you ever have a chance in regards to Ellen, there's a special, I believe it's on Netflix, about the sanctuary they opened in Africa.
Ooh.
And it's a gorilla sanctuary.
Oh.
Oh my God, it is the most beautiful documentary. I sat there and I was just like in awe and I was crying. But in a good way, because it was so amazing, like the stuff she's done for like gorillas and everything.
Eh.
And the love that like Portia has for her, and what, like, it's amazing. If you have a minute,
Yeah.
watch it. It's really good.
Okay. For
It's so
sure.
good. And I love gorillas.
I
I
do
think it's gorillas.
too. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Oh,
Anyways, but that was fantastic stuff.
thank you,
Another
Neen.
riveting episode of Crime
Thank you,
Talk
Neen.
with Steph.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that was adorable. But thank you for chatting with me tonight and feeling the wrath that I
Of
felt.
course.
And
Anytime.
yes, and also happy December, you guys. We're embarking on the
Hmm.
month of our 1 year anniversary.
We are.
So how amazing. Like we're gonna hit 100 episodes. We're gonna hit our 1 year. We need to have a
Hmm.
candlelight dinner and a bottle of champagne.
We do. And yeah, we are on the hills of Navidad. Feliz Navidad, just like Steph's shirt over there, which I really like. I was gonna wear a Christmas outfit too, but I didn't buy it.
Ah.
So I'm so bad. You probably have hecka Christmas
I
pajamas.
have more Halloween than Christmas, but
Really?
we'll remedy that
See,
this season.
I need some. I
I,
don't
of
have any.
course, I have my Grinch stuff. Okay. He
That's
is a
cute.
misunderstood individual like me.
Okay, so I've heard he is
Um,
I have never watched The Grinch.
what is wrong with you? Can you please kick December off with watching the original, not the Jim Carrey one. No
Hmm.
offense. I like it, but like he did a great job. But like the
Hmm.
old school cartoon, please watch
Oh
it.
yeah, I will. I've never watched it. I don't know
Well,
why.
that's how I am with Elf. I've never
Hmm.
sat down to watch Elf. What's the big
Oh,
fucking deal about
oh
Elf?
my God, because it's so funny.
Is it really or is it corn?
No, it's adorable. It
That's what
is so
everyone says.
adorable.
Maybe I'll watch it. I'll
Yeah.
watch it this season. Actually, it's on my list to watch this season. I'm gonna get cozy. But have you ever seen The Family Stone with Sarah Jessica
I
Parker?
love
I
that
love that one. I
movie.
have to watch it every year, even though
Ugh,
she's so uppity. Like I want to like
right?
hit her. And like, of course, The Holiday with Jude Law
Oh
and Cameron
God.
Diaz and
Yes.
Home Alone's 1 and 2.
Yes. And then did you see the one that was last year, or the year before? And it was oh crap.
Yes, with Kristen Stewart.
No, was
Oh.
it? What movie's that? Is that a
It's
Christmas movie?
yes, where her girlfriend takes her home for Christmas, but she's not
Hmm.
out to her family.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen
You need to
that.
watch it. It's so cute.
Really?
Anything Kristen Stewart. So yes.
Um,
But it's
I,
actually really cute.
okay, the movie is called Last Christmas. Have you seen that?
Give me that. Who's in it?
It's the girl from Game of Thrones. I don't know if you,
No.
I don't know her. Oh, Amelia Clark and Henry Golding. Do you know who Henry Golding is?
Yeah,
He's
the
from
name's
Crazy Rich
okay, maybe.
Asians.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
oh my God, it is such a it's so romantic.
okay.
It is such a good Christmas movie.
I'm gonna
It's
watch it.
adorable.
I'm
Tony
gonna
and I
watch
went and
it.
saw it in the movies, And it was so good. And of course, like our faves, like Home Alone, all that other
Yeah.
stuff. And Polar Express. Have you seen Polar Express?
No, I should. I know.
Oh, that's a good one too. I don't watch it like all the time, but it's like, it's cute. It's really good.
Okay, I'll add that. But also, my girl, not Blake Lively. Oh, who's not? Right. ¿Cómo se llama that girl? She's so pretty. She's married to I can't think of the name. She was in Gossip
Mm.
Girl, the main character of Gossip Girl. Oh,
Oh,
Leighton Meester High.
uh-huh.
Okay,
Hmm.
so I'm obsessed with her. Mainly because she's
Hmm.
Blair Waldorf, but she's in a
Hmm.
Christmas movie this year. It just came out. So that's gonna be I might have to
Oh,
watch it this
really?
weekend. She's so adorable. It's about like she's engaged and la la la, but then they break up, but his family really likes her. And so
Oh,
they invite her to Christmas
ooh.
because he supposedly is going somewhere else, but then he ends up showing up and he's like, what the fuck? I relate.
Yeah, for real. Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah, so
that.
I'm gonna watch the
Okay.
hell out of it.
Do you watch Hallmark movies?
I do like Hallmark movies. I haven't seen any like recently,
Me neither. I haven't either,
like the
but I
Melissa
kind
Joan
of want to get in the
Harts.
vibe. Yes, I want to
Yeah.
get in the whole mood of Hallmark movies because once you start watching them, you kind of go and like binge them.
Ooh, well,
They're like addictive.
let's put a pin in this topic because I feel like this would be a good topic for one of our Wednesday episodes,
Yeah,
like a
for
list
sure.
and like fun movies. But
Yes,
this is
for
just a
real.
teaser, everybody.
Right. I know we went off on a tangent,
Like we
but
always
anyways,
do. But yes,
yes.
so on that merry note, we had to pep you guys back up after being so pissed.
Yeah,
Thank you
for
guys for
real.
listening. We love you. We'll be back
Yes.
next week with episode 94.
Ugh, that gave me
Episode
chills.
94, where we're going to talk about 1998. And then Fred is a Neen is on Friday.
Yes.
So we got some fun stuff heading your way. So
Hmm.
that being said,
Always.
until next time, we're gonna catch you on the flip side.
Oh, yeah. Peace out, buddies.
Bye.
Mm,
Oh wait,
okay.
whoops. Hold on, I'm still here, guys.
Technical difficulties.